Italians invented the word bro before English speakers. Kinda. In English, bro is a shortened form of brother, often used as a term of address between male friends. And recently it's even used kind of like a pronoun, like bro did this, bro did that. But this usage is actually a relatively modern thing. As an abbreviation in writing, bro dates back to the 1500s, but it was most likely not pronounced like that, just like you wouldn't pronounce January as Jan when it's abbreviated. As a word separate from brother, it doesn't appear in any dictionaries until the early 1800s, and then it didn't really get popular until a century later. But long before that, Italian monks would call each other fra, short for frate or fratello. And again, it was kind of used as a term of address between male friends. And I know what you're thinking, like, okay, good for them, but it's a different word. But it's actually kind of not. That's because brother in Italian fratello are cognates. So brother comes from Proto-Germanic brothar, which comes from Proto-Indo-European preter. But that same word became frater in Latin, which developed into frate and fratello. Even the abbreviations bro and fra are actually cognate syllables. They both drop the reflexes of that ter suffix from Proto-Indo-European. So maybe a little bit of a stretch, but if you dig deeper, there's even more similarities. For instance, bro is stereotypically really commonly used by members of college fraternities, and yes, that's also a cognate. And monastic orders like the Dominicans, who often use the term fra, weren't like the opposite of college fraternities. Groups of men living and studying together, isolated from society, who sometimes drank too much. Maybe the similarities end there, but I think it's a cool connection, and it's also worth noting that Italians now use the word fra in a very similar way to how Americans use bro. Although it's a more recent thing, so there's probably been some cultural influence.